Guitar Collector Guy presents the StewMac Screamer Pedal Kit. So I got it in my head that I was going to build my own pedal, and so I wanted an Ibanez tube screamer. So StewMac has a clone called the Screamer, and so I went ahead and ordered it. It was only $68, and it looked to be one of the more simpler pedals, so I thought it was a good way to start. I ordered it with a white enclosure, so I didn't have to paint it, and it showed up. I was really excited about starting the project, so this video is not going to be a how-to. It's more or less going to be kind of an overview and a review of complexity and the outcome and things like that. So to start out with, the components are quality. The instructions are phenomenal. The only thing I didn't like was not related to the pedal. Was I also ordered the PC board holder. It was half off when you order, projects and things like that. It was normally $30, and I got it for $15. I'm glad I only paid $15 for it because I think that the helping hands types of approach with the alligator clips and kind of bendable arms is the much better way to go. I really had a hard time setting this up and keeping it where it would hold the board in place. When it did work, it was actually kind of cool, but also I don't think it's really made for small boards like this. Just because once I actually started soldering, I found that the black little kind of arms that hold it in place, and here you can even see the board sliding out. No matter how I tightened it, I always had this problem. But I kept on hitting the sides when I was soldering and actually started to melt the holders and so on. So enough of that. The kit is broken up, or the instructions are broken up into really easy to follow steps. And so here are some things that I will tell you that you need to prepare for. One, if you are young and you can actually see the bands on all of the resistors. Resistors are the little blue things on the board, and the value of them is actually denoted by colored bands that are around them, and they match up to pictures in the instructions. I was actually wearing 5 magnification glasses while I was doing this. I'm kind of older and I need help with my eyes, and I could not see the bands. I thought I would be smart and use my iPhone and blow it up and take a picture. Something about the color with the photos in the iPhone, they made it difficult to tell what the colors were. And so ultimately I ended up using a multimeter and literally measuring every single resistor for its value. And then I was able to actually install properly and get it going. I think that if I was going to do this again, I would definitely at least try a magnifying glass of like 30 power to see if that helps me. But having a really inexpensive multimeter, I had one of the Amazon brand little multimeters. It's like $10. It works great. I mean, it really does. It does exactly what it was supposed to, and so on. The only thing that I would get in addition to the multimeter, which is about another $8 to $10, is a pair of the leads with alligator clips. I found it was kind of hard to hold the resistors in my hand and hold the tips of the leads from the multimeter on it at the same time. But other than that, it was as though the multimeter was kind of my eyes and really helped me kind of get through this. And there's a substantial amount of resistors in this. I believe there's like between 16 and 18 resistors you can see. So the board, the little PC board, is clearly marked with each location of the actual part number. And the component number, and you can match this up with the, again, incredible instructions that come with this. One note too, one of the reasons I'm not doing a how-to, actually two reasons I'm not doing a how-to on this is, one, there's a really good one on StewMac's website. There's already a video out there on how to build a pedal kit, which I really highly suggest that you take the time to watch if you're thinking about doing this. The other thing is, I ended up having to replace the memory cards in the cameras while I was doing this twice, because I have like 3 hours of video. I sat there at my bench for 3 hours doing this, and I don't think anybody would watch a 3 hour video of me putting. You can see too. Watch the card just keeps on falling out of this thing, and no matter how I adjusted it, it would stay exactly. It kept on falling out, and it was just driving me nuts, and so on. So once you're inserting the little, you can see wires sticking out. They're actually leads from the different components, and you insert the component into the board, and then what you do is you bend the leads on the back so it stays, and then you can take the PC card holder like I have here, and you can rotate, like you can see here now, the back of the board, but you can rotate the board and then do your soldering and then trim off. Now I'm installing it. The kit comes with wires and red wire, and you basically, it's quality red wire, and you are told to cut 8 2-inch pieces and 2 4-inch pieces for the kit. I found I would actually cut longer pieces than 4 inches. I found the 4-inch pieces were a little bit short, and I ultimately used my own wire and was able to reach, because you have to extend from one end of the case all the way to the other end with the 4-inch leads. So some pointers that I would give you on this are, do not rush. I made some key mistakes when I did this, where I accidentally, when I was putting in some of the volume and tone and control pots, I put one of them in actually over one pin. I ultimately had to desolder and then place them back, and found that it was kind of a pain to do that. So I was kind of rushing, because one, I'd almost recommend too that maybe you don't do the entire project in one sitting, because I don't know about you, but when I'm sitting and I'm doing something like that, I finally, as I get about 3/4 of the way through, I just want to get done and see the end product, and I get kind of impatient, and that's when I start making mistakes and things like that. So I'd really kind of recommend maybe doing this over maybe a period of time with breaks and things like that. So now I'm taking the foot jack, and you mount this little PC board on the back of the foot jack, and then you solder all the different leads. There's 9 leads on the back of that little PC board, and I was successful in getting the PC board to hold this, at least while I was able to do the soldering on this. Also too, some of the solder points are like really, really close. You really have to pay attention to what you're doing and make sure that you're not accidentally shorting out, meaning you're soldering and some of your solder connects to an adjacent lead, and so on. And so just be careful, do quality control by looking at your work and making sure that you're not doing that. I enjoyed doing the project. I had a lot of fun doing it, and the end product I actually really like. I have an Ibanez Tube Screamer pedal, and I did a comparison between the two, and I really wasn't able to tell the difference. It is really a pretty good clone of the original product. And so at the end of this video, I'll actually play a demo with the Telecaster that I built the other day, and play the the pedal that I built. So the only thing that I would say also about this is, I have big old meat hook hands, and sometimes, it's a little bit difficult to move around in such a confined space. The other thing too is look at inside of the case, and you can actually now get kind of a scale idea of how big the card is. I have to admit, I was very proud of myself when I populated the card completely with all the components. I came in and showed it to my wife because I wanted her to see, oh my God, look what I did. Look at the size of my big, hands, and I managed to create this little tiny thing. Can you believe that this is kind of a distortion pedal and so on? And so, it was pretty rewarding to see that I was actually able to complete this out, and I felt like this advanced engineer that I was putting together this little board with a computer chip on it and stuff like that. So pretty cool. I would say that if you have, I would say maybe not intro soldering skills, you may want to practice a little while before you do something like this, because it is kind of tight. Make sure that you have a really good fine point tip on your soldering iron, so you can really get in there and so on. And like I said, just don't rush things. Take time. Just go through, and work on it and so on. And that's it. It is a lot of fun. I did enjoy doing this. I don't know if I'm going to do another one, to be honest with you, because if you like this video, click like, subscribe, and notify. Pedals that they have, they have a Cyclops clone pedal, and it's something that I really like to do. I might actually just buy a clone pedal. I've kind of gotten it out of my system doing this one. I'm really happy, to be honest with you. I'm going to be working on one of their amp kits, and the resistors are huge, and I can actually see them with my normal glasses on and stuff like that. So I think I might stick to wiring harnesses for guitars and maybe amplifiers. And so, but it's a really, really well constructed kit. The end product that you get is comparable in quality to basically any type of a pedal that you buy, a good commercial pedal, and will last you, for years and years and years and so on, and is pretty cool looking. The only thing I did to, as I was putting it together, I made the mistake of putting the stickers on the pedal before I put the knobs on. And I don't recommend you do that, because I actually found that I placed the stickers too close to the post and the knobs actually covered them up. So ultimately I ended up having to take it apart, pulled the knobs off, pull the stickers off, move them up, and put them back on. So in hindsight, I'd recommend that you put your stickers on as a very last step to something that you're doing. I also just used one of the StewMac little power adapter, and and used it and so on. In the recording that will be at the end of this video, it's me playing through the pedal through a mini amp that I have, and the mini amp will be clean, without any effects or anything on it. The only effect you'll actually hear is the screamer pedal and so on. But I'd recommend doing this. I would, and it's also too, for the price, $68. It's, looking at other projects that I do with guitars and things like that, it's actually a very time consuming and inexpensive, fun thing to do to build out your own projects. And at the end of the day, you hold this pedal in your hand and you're like, holy crap, I made this. This is pretty neat, so. So I really do like the original Tube Screamer, and I like this pedal as well. I like this type of distortion where it does actually sound like tubes in an amp just being overdriven. And I don't know, it's kind of dirty as to almost like it's not like a metal distortion. It's something that you would use in blues and things like that. And so I like this. I like how this project turned out. I will use this pedal. So one thing that I would also say at the end is I don't think that you do this project to really save money. It's more about satisfaction and fun. But that's at the end of the day what it's all about. Thank you for watching Guitar Collector Guy. Really appreciate you being here. Hope you come back and watch more. If you like this video, click like, subscribe, and notify.